As the 2026 World Baseball Classic approaches, one name has dominated every conversation, every prediction, and every pre-tournament debate from Tokyo to Los Angeles. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The moment Japan's coaching staff announced the rotation for the opening game of WBC 2026, the baseball world stopped. No debate, no surprise, just confirmation of what every fan already knew deep down. When the biggest stage arrives, you send your best. And right now, in all of baseball, not just Japan, not just the National League, but all of baseball, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is as close to untouchable as the sport has seen in a generation. But this is not simply a story about a great pitcher getting a great assignment. This is a story about a moment, a declaration, a statement that Samurai Japan is not coming to the 2026 WBC to participate. They are coming to dominate. And Yamamoto's selection as the Game 1 starter is the opening line of that story. According to reports confirmed by multiple Japanese baseball media outlets and later echoed by MLB insiders covering the WBC roster preparations, Japan's management made the decision early. There was no internal debate, no political compromise between coaching factions, and no consideration of rotating the honor among Japan's deep pitching staff. Yamamoto starts Game 1. Full stop. For a tournament where national pride is inseparable from every pitch, every swing, and every out, the symbolism of that decision cannot be overstated. Japan has long been regarded as the gold standard of WBC competition. They captured the inaugural championship in 2006, defended it in 2009, and dramatically reclaimed the throne in 2023 in one of the most memorable tournament finals in WBC history, finishing with Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout on a devastating sweeper to seal the title. Now, 3 years later, Japan does not simply want to repeat. They want to remind the world why Samurai Japan remains the most feared national baseball program on the planet. And the man they have chosen to deliver that message stands 6 feet tall, weighs 176 pounds, and throws a baseball with a combination of velocity, movement, and precision that makes opposing hitters look utterly helpless. To understand why Yamamoto's selection carries such weight, you need to understand the journey that brought him to this moment. Yamamoto did not arrive in MLB with questions surrounding his ability. He arrived with a contract that made the entire sport pay attention, a 12-year, $325 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the largest contract ever given to a pitcher in baseball history at the time of signing. That kind of investment does not happen based on potential. It happens based on proof. And Yamamoto had delivered proof for years in NPB. 3 consecutive Sawamura Awards. Consecutive seasons as both the ERA leader and strikeout leader in Japanese professional baseball. A pitcher so dominant that opposing managers would openly adjust their entire week of preparation the moment they confirmed Yamamoto was starting. Yet transitioning to MLB is never guaranteed, regardless of credentials. The league is different. The hitters are different. The schedule is punishing. The spotlight is unrelenting. And injuries, as the Dodgers painfully discovered early, do not respect contracts or reputations. Yamamoto's first MLB season was interrupted by injury, a setback that tested not only his physical recovery but his mental resilience. For a pitcher whose entire identity is built around precision and control, being unable to compete is perhaps the most psychologically challenging obstacle imaginable. But Yamamoto came back, and when he returned to the mound, it became clear almost immediately that the injury had not diminished him. If anything, the time away had sharpened his focus, refined his approach, and added a layer of competitive hunger to his already elite preparation habits. Yamamoto once told a Japanese broadcaster in a candid interview, "When I couldn't pitch, I watched everything. Every hitter, every count, every situation. I wanted to come back not just healthy, but better." That mindset is precisely why Japan has handed him the ball for the most important start of the tournament. Let's talk about what makes Yamamoto's fastball genuinely special, because the word powerful barely scratches the surface. It is not simply about velocity, though Yamamoto consistently sits 96 to 98 miles per hour and has touched triple digits in high-leverage situations. What separates his fastball from other hard throwers in the sport is the combination of elite spin rate, exceptional ride through the zone, and the deceptive arm action that disguises the pitch until it is far too late for hitters to adjust. Hitters who face Yamamoto for the first time almost universally describe the same experience. The pitch looks hittable out of the hand. The trajectory, the release point, the arm speed, everything says manageable fastball. And then, at the last possible fraction of a second, the ball rises, tails, or cuts in a direction that turns a confident swing into an embarrassing miss. Advanced metrics back up what hitters feel. Yamamoto's fastball consistently grades among the best in baseball by whiff rate, by run value, and by the frequency with which it produces weak contact even when hitters make connection. It is the kind of pitch that does not just miss bats. It breaks timing, disrupts rhythm, and plants doubt in a hitter's mind that lingers for every subsequent plate appearance. In a WBC context, where international hitters are often seeing him for the first time or facing him with limited preparation time, that fastball becomes even more devastating. You cannot simulate Yamamoto in a batting practice session. You cannot prepare for the combination of his velocity, his spin, and the way his delivery compresses a hitter's reaction window to almost nothing. A veteran infielder from a competing WBC nation, speaking anonymously ahead of the tournament, was blunt in his assessment. "We have good pitchers in our program, but Yamamoto is on another level. When he is locked in, you are just hoping to make contact. You are not thinking about driving the ball. You are thinking about survival." Yamamoto's selection does not exist in isolation. It is part of a broader tactical philosophy that Japan's coaching staff has constructed around a clear and unapologetic goal: use the opening game to establish psychological dominance over the entire tournament field. In WBC competition, early momentum is not just about winning or losing a single game. It is about sending a signal. A dominant Game 1 performance by Japan's ace tells every other team in the bracket exactly what they are facing. It forces rivals to recalibrate their offensive strategies. It energizes Japan's hitters, who take the field with the confidence that their pitcher has already set the tone. And it creates the kind of collective belief that turns talented rosters into championship teams. Japan's lineup around Yamamoto is equally formidable. The Dodgers' connection runs deep, with multiple Japan-born MLB stars returning to represent their country. The combination of power hitters, disciplined contact bats, and exceptional base-running instincts gives Samurai Japan the offensive depth to support their pitching on any given night. But the pitching, and Yamamoto specifically, remains the foundation. Japan's coaching staff has also been deliberate about managing Yamamoto's workload heading into the tournament. Unlike a regular MLB season where a starter faces the grinding monotony of a 162-game schedule, the WBC's condensed format allows Japan to deploy Yamamoto with maximum preparation and minimum fatigue. He enters the tournament sharp, focused, and motivated by a kind of competitive pride that only representing your country on the world stage can produce. Yamamoto himself addressed the responsibility directly in pre-tournament media availability. "Wearing this uniform is different from anything else. When I pitch for Japan, I feel the weight of everyone who loves this game here. I want to honor that." For Japanese baseball fans, the 2026 WBC carries enormous emotional significance. The sport in Japan has undergone a transformation over the past decade. The NPB pipeline to MLB has never been more active, more celebrated, or more widely followed. Players like Ohtani, Yamamoto, and a generation of young Japanese stars have made baseball in Japan a source of extraordinary national pride. But with that pride comes expectation. Japan does not simply want its players to succeed on individual stages. It wants collective glory, tournament glory, the kind of triumph that unites generations of fans and reminds the world that Japan's baseball culture, its discipline, its attention to detail, its emphasis on team over individual, produces champions. Yamamoto starting Game 1 is not just a pitching decision. It is a cultural statement. It says that Japan's best is ready, that the preparation has been thorough, that the hunger is real, and that Samurai Japan will not be satisfied with anything less than standing at the top of the podium when the 2026 WBC concludes. For rival nations preparing to face Japan in the tournament bracket, none of this is comforting news. A healthy, motivated, fully prepared Yoshinobu Yamamoto, throwing his best fastball on the biggest stage of international baseball, is perhaps the most daunting first-game opponent any team could face. As opening day of WBC 2026 draws closer, the anticipation continues to build. Ticket demand in Japan has shattered records. International broadcast viewership projections are at historic highs. The storylines entering the tournament are compelling from every angle: defending champions, rising challengers, individual stars with points to prove, and young talents eager to announce themselves on the world stage. But at the center of it all, one image stands clearest. Yoshinobu Yamamoto standing on the mound in a Samurai Japan uniform, staring in for the sign, reaching back for that devastating fastball and reminding every hitter, every team, and every fan watching from anywhere on the planet exactly why his name belongs at the top of every conversation about the best pitchers alive. Game 1 belongs to him. And if Yamamoto delivers the performance Japan is counting on, the message to every team remaining in the 2026 World Baseball Classic will be impossible to misread. Samurai Japan has arrived, and they are not leaving without the championship.